Can everybody see me? Okay. I don't know what I'm looking at here. So, I was trying to make sure I could see if people were talking or not. No. Okay. So, okay. All right. Hopefully people pop in. I need to go back to my book on this other one, unless I need to have another one on. Sorry that took so long, everybody. Just trying to make sure I have a couple things set up for you guys. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you for your assistance and for everybody and anybody's patience. Phones and tech are technical. All right, I am known in the church as Druidess Clove. I am one of the clergy that kind of moved out of state, and I'm really happy to be back and offering services. Okay, thanks, Kevin, for stopping by. I'm so sorry we're starting late. I do believe this is recorded. I was told that all the lives are recorded, so it can be watched later. All right. So let's see, I am going to be doing a Triple Realms circle casting, or actually sacred space setting. But you can think of it as a circle if you like. And I am going to light a few things, and you'll just see as I go. And feel free to respond to anything I do. And just know that this is a very simple space, as I have limited room here. But in your own space, if you like to move around and do this as kind of land, sea, and sky, okay? So let me get that going, and then we'll talk about what we're doing, because I like to work space or mooncraft within sacred space, okay? So we're going to focus all of our body and our intent down through our feet and in touch with the land. And we are going to call upon the spirits, guardians, and allies of the land. That for me, or for you guys, you have the valley and the mountains, and anywhere that you are that is the land beneath your feet, or your most favorite place closest to you, and you want that essence to be with you at this time in your space. It is also the bones and your skin and anything that is solid within you. You can also keep a semi-precious stone, a grounding stone, or something that just represents land to you and in your mind. Okay? So we're moving amongst our body. We are really grounding down and connecting with the spirits of land, the soil, the trees, the rocks. And as we, if you want to say, embrace the land of Mother Earth, we move up and we move along the moving waters. I'm right by the bay here, and you may be your closest moving waters or water near you, if you're in Salt Lake, would be Salt Lake. Or wherever you are in Utah. Think of the moving, living waters near you. It could be a river, it can be a creek. And in your body, it is the flowing blood and within your body, the lymph nodes, the water you've drunk, whatever you connect to, and we're going to call, and I do call upon the spirits of the sea, the lake, the rivers. We ask for your wisdom, protection, and guidance and favor. And as representatives of that, I have some local water, and I sometimes like to sprinkle the place around me as I'm calling them forth to have actual representation. And for the land, I have shells and stones, and my very body as that representation. Now, as you allow the movement of the waters to go through you, breathe in. You're going to pull up higher and imagine you are focusing on the sky and breath and creativity and the allies, messenger, and kindreds of the sky. And in this case, we will activate and make sure to have some sweetgrass here, which is my favorite. And unfortunately with sweetgrass you sometimes have to keep lighting it and get a little bit of smoke going. If you have incense that you would like to keep smoking a little bit through part of your time, I encourage that. Breathe it in and out, or if you just enjoy the air in your space, the creativity, the blessings, the thoughts. The guardians and allies of the land, sea, and sky, we ask for your guidance, protection, and wisdom. We acknowledge you as part of us, as we are part of you, and we welcome you, kindreds. We call upon our ancestors, the nature spirits, and the hidden ones to walk in the twilight with us. And just take a few breaths, and when you're ready, let's get to the next part. But take your time. All right. Whew, love that sweetgrass. All right. And if you're more comfortable when you do this for your time period, for those who can't have smoke, I also have something like sacred sage spray or other things. Feel free to use any of that kind of thing if you need. Okay, so during this awesome, or should I say, this November moon, I was looking at the different titles or labels that we have for the moon, and a lot of the symbolism we are embracing at this time is that we are in a time of not just say longer night or darkness, because it is that time of year where we get to be a bit cooler here in the northern hemisphere. But I was very intrigued by some of my readings lately about how the hidden ones, their lords and ladies, spend half their time here, and in a similar other world, the lords and ladies of the season spend half their time in the other world during a similar season. So when they're here for winter, they go back to their side for winter in the opposite seasons, kind of like, you know, we're in the northern and then southern hemisphere, and they experience opposites. And it was stating that the belief is that the hidden ones do similar things. And I found that interesting because I feel like during this time here in the northern hemisphere, we've been experiencing an extended twilight state due to the world as it is right now. And a lot of us have gotten to the point that we feel very frustrated, or that we maybe are not as, you know, we're confined. We're not as able to move about as we normally would. But at the same time, we've just had here in the Northern Hemisphere, the holiday Thanksgiving. And I found it very interesting that amongst the hidden ones, whom we know as also the shine, or the shining ones, the gentlefolk, and many other names. I won't say the one that starts with F because I really kind of don't like that one. Although, you can see it here. This is the Hidden Ones Oracle. I also have the Fairy Blessing cards. Oops, I said it. In sacred space, I try to avoid it. But since there may be those of you who don't know their alternative names, there are many. And they are known as guides and guardians of nature and of the twilight. And twilight is not just nighttime, but also morning. Those in-between times and the times during the dark, there are certain hidden ones that are guardians of those time periods. And I really always felt kinship with the idea of, like, this is the season where we're starting to go into the holidays, and we are saying the phrase, thank you so much. And lately, because of COVID, we've all been watching the news, and maybe people watch the news more than I do, but I keep hearing people say thank you for endings and beginnings. And I never, or very rarely, hear anybody say you're welcome in reply. And I'm not really going to focus on that part, but it made me think, do we overuse thank you? Because amongst the Fae, it is a very bad idea to use that term. The hidden ones and the gentlefolk, another term for them, oh, I found the page, people of peace, fair folk. Now, we use these more positive names for them because we want to interact with their more positive side. We don't want to gain their wrath. That's an aspect of using euphemism. I never could say this word right. It's white there. That term. Euphemisms. Yeah. And I just felt real kinship with the idea that it's not a good idea to say thank you to the hidden ones. There's been stories time and again where people have given them clothing, say the shoemaker story, and they gave them clothing and they just stopped working and disappeared and left. There's many other stories like that. And I kind of feel like we've been going through, this time where we've been in this twilight and we're trying to be thinking of more positive things or trying to interact in more positive ways. But after listening to these people say thank you for everything on the news and everywhere else, I'm kind of tired of the word or phrase thank you. And I know amongst the Fae, this is an interesting thing. And I don't know if everybody thinks about it. When sometimes the term amongst the hidden folk, the term thank you possibly offends them because there's a hint of debt. There's a hint of owing something or putting yourself in debt to them, and you don't want to be in debt to the Fae. And so I was really intrigued by the mystery of this time period because so much of the darker seasons, there was a lot of, anything can happen in the forest. It was a dark period. And I feel like we're kind of in that in-between time, and it's been very extended. And we're trying to be more positive about it. A lot of us are just tired of the whole thing. And I found myself very grateful, I like the term grateful, for many things. And I was wondering if we could dwell on that, because I know Thanksgiving is supposed to be grateful for family and friends and all those other things. But how many of you have already started saying the term thank you all over the place now? There's going to be thank you for gifts, and there's thank you for passing this, and thank you for passing that. I was thinking I'd like to challenge people with the idea of a gratitude page. I have this special parchment book. You don't have to use parchment. You can use whatever paper you have. But I want to challenge people to take a page. It doesn't have to be big. It can be as much as you want. And think about things that you're grateful for, but instead of saying thank you. Find alternative ways to show gratitude. So if we'd like, while I pull some oracle cards from the hidden ones, I have a few different decks here. And if there's anybody there and you would like to have me pull you a card, I'd be more than happy to do that. Or you can just spend your time thinking about this gratitude page. You don't have to write it in any particular way. You don't have to write it to the Fae. I just really liked the idea of thinking about what it means to be grateful and how you talk about it, and how there's this idea of debt, or just wanting to show gratitude without creating any kind of idea about debt, because that's a tricky thing amongst the hidden ones. Let me see her name. In Fairycraft, Following the Path of the Fairy, Witchcraft by Morgan Diamer, there's this really great excerpt here which talks about thanks versus gratitude, which really touched my heart. And it was one of the things that got me thinking. And what they really want is a show of proper gratitude. It talks here of, speaking of things to avoid when it comes to fairy etiquette, but I was more drawn to the aspect of thinking about what you say and what you mean when you interact with spirit, when you interact with yourself and your family and your friends. And it's like, where was that one part? One theory is that by saying thank you, it is dismissive and implies that you feel superior to the spirit. Another says that saying thank you acknowledges a debt between you and the Fae, or fairy. And it is never wise to be in debt to a hidden one, okay? Especially when the debt is an open-ended one, okay? This is an old belief from the really old, yeah, I don't even remember how old. I was reading a couple other books about the history of it, of this being a repetitive belief and coming up in the stories over and over again. So whether you say thank you offends them because it is dismissive, or is dangerous because it puts you in their debt, you should try not to do it. And they say instead pay back any help, blessing, or gifts with gifts. And this lady who wrote the book, Morgan, Morgan. I carry around a small pouch full of little items for this purpose. You can also offer any food and drink you have with you as a thank you gift. Fairies abhor people who are greedy or stingy, so it is important to show proper gratitude to them. Instead of saying thank you, you may choose to say I appreciate, I am grateful for, to express the same sentiment. So what are you grateful for right now? Despite all the many things that we can be frustrated about, what are you grateful for? What calls to you? And again, you can write it in a little sacred book you have. You could pull the parchment out and just have it as a piece that you can tack on your mirror and think about it. So this is a twofer. All right. As you all write maybe just 2 or 3 things you're grateful for, and then if you'd like to share them or not, that's totally fine. I'm going to pull a few cards, and I just want to let people, if they want, request one. I have the Fairy Blessing cards here by Lucy Cavendish, but I also have Brian Froud's Fairies Oracle. And when I do the readings, I'm going to call them the hidden ones, not the fairies. But since a lot of people know them that way, it's a little easier. So if anybody wants to just put up there which one you might like me to use. Otherwise, I'm going to speak very softly as you focus on this activity. And as a matter of fact, if you want, while we're waiting for a response on that, I will just help you get to that point, okay? So we are sitting in a semi-softened room. I really love shadow and soft lights and the idea of being in the moment, and just take a moment to really breathe. And I personally find shuffling cards very relaxing. But for yourself, just hold your pen or your pencil in your hand with your paper in front of you. And if you would like, just write, what am I grateful for? or gratitude page, whichever works for you. And don't worry, you don't have to rush whatever paper you have. You can also pause this and then do this again later. Feel free and restart it, what have you. And just try to think of, even if it's just one thing, if you can get to about 3 things, that's good. If you have so many more you'd like to write about, please feel free. I personally really like to say other things other than thank you, and I really have appreciated in my own life right now that I was able to reach out and do a telemedicine visit or tele-appointment with my naturopath to help me with a few things lately, so I didn't have to risk going out too much. Unfortunately, my family is, I hope you can't hear them too loudly in the background. Alright, so I've been pulled towards my Froude's Oracle. I'm just going to call it that. This is the Oracle from Brian Froude. And I would like to see who visited us during this time when we're thinking about gratitude. Please continue to write your thoughts. This isn't something you have to focus on. If you'd like to help focus, you're welcome. Let's see. Oh, I love this. We got friends. It's a really cool card. Will you guys give me just one moment to close the door, and I will be right back. And I'm going to prop this right here so it's still in the light because I'm concerned about sounds. You guys, try not to be too loud. I'm trying to do ritual in here. Alright, so sorry about that, folks. Okay. So, I really take the time if you want. Also, not right now, but maybe later. I found some really interesting articles about alternative things you can say to show gratitude instead of just thank you. There was like phrases, and the interesting thing I found was the idea of using very slingy terms like no problem or no worries, because for some people it might make them think that there actually was a bit put upon to do it. But you're still trying to say, oh, no worries, I was happy, to do this for you, or what have you, or it was a pleasure, something that doesn't imply any worries. So just think about alternative ways to say, you're welcome if you like to focus on that aspect of it. And thank you, it's like, very grateful that you took the time to do this for me. I absolutely appreciate the effort and thoughtfulness of this activity or item you got me. There's just so many different ways you can do it. And if you would like to do offerings and gratitude to Mother Earth or the Fae, again, they talked about food. And I had a big thing with this. The card that we got was friends, right? And to me, the nature spirits are friends. But I'm very careful to try to give, if it's food, items that the local wildlife can handle. And if I want to put something that might stay out there for a bit and add beauty or a reminder of connection, something of value to them, again, I make sure that it's safe for nature. And in my case, I was very conflicted because most of the offerings you read about in the older books are things like milk from cows or eggs, things made with egg. And as I am a bit more on the vegan spectrum or mostly plant-based now, I was reading from another gentlefolk worker or shining light worker that she just offers what she would eat herself because that is equal and what she can provide to the hidden ones. Something that is still valuable, still lovely, and what you would share with friends. So this card, the Friends card, is uplifting one another, being there for each other if you can or when you can. For those who have not been able to be so close, it would be that you are not alone, that even in the shadows, there's friendship there. You have but to call and they will be around you to keep you company. Friendship is many different levels. So I really love that this card came up for us today. Friendship is a great thing to have gratitude for. And we can extend friendship and kindness all around us. It may be hard to see sometimes, but I feel like I think we need to take a moment more than just a simple thank you, which seems to be very overused. I've seen people use it as goodbye and hello, and I don't understand that completely. I know people just get used to saying things. Oop, nope, I feel an urge to shuffle again. And if I'm talking too much, it's totally cool if you would like quiet. But because of licensing rules, I couldn't just put some music on in the background. Which is what we would do in Sacred Circle. At the temple, we normally would put some music on the background to help everybody chill. Okay. All right. Ooh, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I don't know about you folks, but I have definitely been getting on with the comedians and funny shows just to get away from some of the more negative news or anything else that might bring me down. And I feel like there is, sorry, not Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Laste's Moon's Daughter, and it is about laughter and movement and connection. Sorry, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a D&D spell. Way too much D&D here. Anyways, so Laste Moon's Daughter, they're close together. They're enjoying each other's company. They're giggling. They're laughing. They're having precious moments with one another. I think this is a really awesome card for another thing to be grateful for or have gratitude for. And I just think they're so lovely and beautiful. Like this is an older, smiling, almost like an auntie. And then you have this young, bright fae. And she even has a tail. I just love the features on Fraud's Hidden Ones. Oh, okay. That's good to know. That's why I was trying to read it out to you guys. I was actually trying to let you guys see the details of her face. I didn't really think you could read this font. It's horrible font for actually reading. It's very beautiful, but it's very curly and weird. So yeah, so Laste's Moon's Daughter. It's good to know that, though. And I'm going to pull one more. Would you like me to pull from a different deck, or are you guys enjoying this one? Okay. Let's see what we got here. And I can pull a few more cards if anybody wants personal cards, too. Oh, the Piper. This is the Piper. I'm trying to make sure you don't get too much shine. I have a light, but I know that it's like right in there. There you go. It should not shine as much now. Isn't he handsome? Okay, so this is being called, or it is about music, but it's also being called or drawn to something. Feeling a pull. And in my case, I'm really drawn to the idea of music, being grateful for music, for having headspace, to giving us another level to the things that we're experiencing. I don't know how many people have been, podcasting, listening to podcasts, other media and arts being an outlet, music, uplifting us or supporting us through whatever emotions we're experiencing. Definitely grateful for music. So I find that interesting. Friendship, laughter, music, some really good areas to focus on. And you may have a lot of other things or some other things that came to your mind. just going to set it around. Everything wants to tip on me. That's okay. That's okay. That's the mischief maker in the cards. I sometimes think of them as mischief makers for sure. But usually there's a good intent behind the mischief. Not every time. So does anybody have anything they thought of that they're grateful for that they might like to share? And even if we're not live and you come across this later and you'd like to share it in the comments, please feel free. And perhaps we can also do a line of anything that we would be grateful for help with. I am more than happy to maybe do some candle lightings or walk through the paper fire burning ceremony, but I think it would be better in this case until you're ready or felt like you've given enough energy to this to have it with you until the next full moon or the waning moon, so that you have a whole cycle of the moon to move through this. Anything that you would like to uphold you or uplift you that you would love to be grateful for or improve. This is the full moon, so this is a good time. This is cider. Sorry, I have to keep my throat wet so I don't cough on you guys. As I said, I had to go personally. I was grateful to be able to telecommute with the doctor. Turns out I have allergic asthma, and I needed help with that. So I was very grateful to be able to connect in that way, in a safe way. So those are my main points that I wanted to talk about, and if anybody had some other thoughts on this, I would love for the chat to bring it up or in the comments later. I'm not sure how long I've been on. There was one other thing I thought I could talk about. The paper that you've written gratitude on, you can do two things, like I said. You can keep it with you, and I want to challenge you for... Oh, that's nice. Grateful for family and friends and for my... Oh, yeah, that's a good one here. That's so cool. This is that we could all be grateful for that. That's lovely. May the spirits of and the kindreds of the land, sea, and sky support Heron. And keep them all in our hearts. Okay. So I was going to say, with the paper that you have, if it's more than one thing, or even if it's just, 2 or 3 things, whatever you got or more, suggestion is put it on your mirror or have it in your window if you want it to get moon and sun energy for a month. We are in the winter time, so it will get that energy as well. This is a time of, I really love this time period. Do you guys realize that this is our longest moons for like 3 months, starting from now into December and then January. And then it's, going back again, lighter and lighter again, at shorter nights. So our 3 longest, darkest moons are November, December, January. I love this time of year. And I personally love enjoying the softness of the darkness, because this is where the twilight, where the hidden ones live, is where gestation happens. That's why the idea of mother is, gestating during this time and resting and getting ready to flourish in the spring and all that. Which I often found was kind of curious, because for some reason in my head I always associated it with the crone. I guess because of the trees and how they look a little skeletal, and again, that time period of where we're trying to take care of our elders. And I'm grateful that I have deep memories of my father during this time period, because he was very ill and he died around this time period between November and December. And so for me, I love the memories that come from my father who had passed during this time period. And I'm very grateful for my love of fantasy books and reading that he instilled in me, and he was also the one who gave me passion for music. So I have a lot of gratitude towards my father, who I feel still inspires me to this day. And I feel that the hidden ones in some traditions are believed to be our ancestors as well. And I feel like not just at Shawan, but through the dark period, I feel that we are closer to some of them, especially if there's special dates, especially around the holiday time period, tends to bring them to our mind, and the memories come to us during this time. So I'm very grateful and inspired by my ancestors and my father and those who come to mind during this time period for me. And I wanted to mention that this time period is like that nurturing time in our lives where the womb is a dark place and we're in this nice, warm, dark place. When we're not feeling well, we go to that dark place. Let's see. Oh, yes. Yeah, I really love snowstorms. Yeah, all those things are lovely. The energy is so different, right? That in between twilight time, this is that time period. Yeah, with the storms, in between weather, that the sunset and sunrise. Yes, definitely. I was thinking about all those different things. It's just such a huge subject in my brain. And we're actually where I'm at, we're doing it at sunset. We're doing this moon circle at sunset. So I thought this was really cool. I was originally going to record this during the sunset or dark time of the night, but I was not finding myself in a good place, and I really felt divination-wise it would be better to pull the cards live so it could have a good interaction with anyone who reads this and who might be present. But I do love that in-between time, exactly, the storms and all that, definitely really good energy. And I think some of you who know me, I love being outside in a storm, even just for a little bit. It's such a cleansing energy. It you can harness that energy and manifest things. You can use it to cleanse through you and to connect. There's so many different things you can do with that in-between twilight energy, be it in the storm where it's dimmer during those times, or be it in the actual sunset and sunrise, in the in-between hours. All those time periods are the times where you can connect with allies, guardians, and the hidden ones. It doesn't just have to be on the sabbats or the equinoxes or times like that. The twilight times or the in-between times are times where you can send messages and connect with the hidden ones and deeper parts of yourself as well. Allow yourself to be an in-between. No worries. So I'm not sure how long I've been doing this. Let me just check my time. We're at 5:21. Okay. Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh, okay. So, if you've taken the time and you've done the paper, your gratitude list, and if you've just come in, please feel free. We are doing a gratitude list where you just get a piece of paper. Say if you have parchment from a, oops, where did I put it? Oh, from say a special journal, a parchment paper, or just regular line paper, whatever you like. And if you would like to write what you have gratitude for, or what you would love help, so you can feel gratitude for, and just 1, 2, or 3 things. Don't make it a huge, hard thing to try to list, and keep it with you for a moon. And as things happen in this holiday season, from now, we've just had Thanksgiving and we're going to be going through the holiday season, I would love to challenge people to try to give gratitude without using the term thank you, as often as you can. There's a couple to start with. Just one more repeat of that, just for anyone who came a little later. The idea is that we're trying to adopt the energy of the hidden ones, that we should try alternative ways to share gratitude or show gratitude when we are given a gift or someone does something or something along those lines. Part of the thing with the Fae is that some people believe, all right, some people believe you could be put in debt to the Fae if you flat out said thank you. There's this idea of being in debt, or you can displease them in some way. Again, the one example that I really like is when the shoemaker gave clothes to the little hidden ones that were helping him make shoes, and then suddenly they were gone. They never returned after he gifted them clothing. That doesn't mean they were angry necessarily, but it does show that maybe perhaps he gave them payment and they decided to leave. That's just one example. And in this case, with the idea of gratitude, we're trying, with all the stuff that has happened again this year, we're trying to think about what we can be positive about. And the cards we got again, and I'm happy to pull cards for anybody who would like, is the Friends. Wants to come down. The Friends card. The Lastel's Moon Daughter. And this is about laughter, companionship, cheering each other up, being there for one another. Whereas Friends is more along the lines of having community and being grateful for those around you who care and interact. And then the Piper is like music and the arts, to be used and be grateful for those things that help us get through this dark time, this twilight time that we've been living in. Okay, it's not for much longer, and we are in the darkest time of the year in the sense of longest nights and the longest nights to enjoy and really, like the beavers. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. The beaver uses this time period to build its winter hut or its winter home, and it's a nocturnal animal. So for those of us who feel more comfortable when we're not in the bright sun, this is a good time to be busy and working. We can have gratitude for all the stores and activities and things that we can gather right now to help us keep entertained during the last bit here of the dark time. So yeah, I think I'm not sure that I want to drag this out. Please feel free when it is recorded to replay this. And we're going to set back and go ahead and close the sacred space and show gratitude for the allies and guardians who may be present to support us through this activity and this communication we've had. Yeah, wanted to say one more time, I also love how quiet everything gets during that time period when I'm not jibber jabbering. From what Heron typed in the thing about how snowstorms and everything gets very bright and quiet, or soft in colors, right? Okay, so back to let's bring down the sacred space. Okay, so we're going to reverse it. We're going to focus on the sky above us and just before the sky. Sorry, ancestors and kindreds. We call upon the kindreds, the hidden ones, our ancestors, the fur, the feathered, the scaled, those who support us and dwell with us here in this realm. We give thanks or gratitude. We acknowledge their presence in this time that they've shared with us, and any energy and wisdom they've shared and to inspire us during this sacred time. Their protection is gratefully received, and may they be protected as they stay or will themselves away. We turn our minds and thoughts to the sky and the air and the moving breeze and the wind and the storms in the sky, the gentle snow that will fall, that we will get to enjoy during this time period, or just whatever weather happens in your space, in your area. We are grateful for their energies and wisdom. We acknowledge their presence and are happy for them to stay or go. And then we come to the moving waters of the sea, the lakes, the rivers, the moving waters within our body, the waters we drink and enjoy, their wisdom and power and protection we enjoy, and the emotions we share. We thank them or show gratitude in valuing the liquids we get to share of them. See, it's so easy to say thank you all the time, right? All right. We are happy for them to stay. We acknowledge their presence, but we acknowledge their freedom to dwell where they will. And then we move down along our body, amongst our bones and flesh and skin. We feel down to our feet and touch the land, the rock, the soil, the shifting plates, the physical of ourselves and Great Mother Earth and all beings. In our heart we share and flow our love and gratitude for their time here with us, for their protection and wisdom, of the allies, guardians, and currents of the land. I take essence of the sweetgrass and spread it in offering. May you go as you will. May you disperse as you are free to do. There's gratefulness and gratitude in our hearts, great love. And just breathe in and release all connections, except for those who wish to stay and be part of us. All right. Thank you so much for your time with me today. I hope there was something that touched your heart in this little talk and activity. Feel free in the comments to share anything you would like or ask any questions. One more time, I will show you very quickly. Oh, come back here. The book I referenced today about the hidden ones. Ooh, come back here, you silly book. Sorry, I had to use my phone. It's a digital book for me. It's on around page 50 in the book. It talks about euphemisms for the hidden ones. And then shortly after that is the whole part about the idea of gratitude and thankfulness. Ooh, that's neat. Thank you, Raven, for sharing that. Upila. Lakota term for showing deep gratitude. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the cover of this book for anyone who would like to look at it. There are other references. This is just the one I found for today. There's also multiple terms for the hidden folk in here as well. Oops, stop turning pages. Just go to the... Okay, really quick. Come on. It's trying to highlight things. Okay. Come on. Alright, if you don't want to do it the easy way. Okay, here's the cover. You can get this on Amazon, Kobo Books, and I think it also comes in paperback. And I really like it. It talks about the old fairy folk beliefs, but it's mixing it with a bit of modern, a blend of modern and just witchcraft in general. Not necessarily Wicca, but craft. And it goes by the F-A-I-R-Y spelling of fairy. I prefer the F-A-E-R-Y. But to each their own. And again, around page 50 and a few pages beyond talks about the topics that I mentioned today, if you're interested in that at all. And there's a lot of good info here and just a different view on fairy craft. if you're at all interested, that I have found very intriguing and really help describe some of my feelings and thoughts about the hidden ones personally. So I will wish you all a good day, and I am very grateful that you took the time to view my humble offering this day, and I am very hopeful that some of you will take up the challenge of, I guess you could also think of, oh, that was the term I was going to share, the Geesh. The Celtic have this idea of a taboo or a thing that is a challenge for you to overcome or to get better at. It doesn't have to be taken as a taboo or whatever, but just a challenge of a gratitude challenge for this holiday season to find creative ways to show your gratitude without just the standard thank yous. Okay? So, bye everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to ask any questions or share whatever gratitude you have or would like help with building up. And as a community, we can support you, either energetically or however, magic, spirituality, whatever tradition would love to be of help that you'd love help with in seeking gratitude or uplifting, getting help uplifting during this darker time of the year. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.